Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Board Game Backwards, where we play board games having never read the rules. I'm Shay.
And I'm Brian.
And today we are going to be playing Flamecraft, designed by Manny Vega and published by Cardboard Alchemy.
Cool.
Yeah.
Love the box art.
Yeah, it's really fun. I like the background art quite a lot. It's just kind of like Studio Ghibli-ish.
Yes.
So I like it.
It is.
So it was published in 2022, so fairly recent. It's ranked 393 overall. It is 2.21 in weight.
Okay.
So a little bit lower than some of the last games we've played.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. As we know, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be any easier for the rules, but at least it shouldn't take as long or be as hard to figure out once we read the rule book.
Nice.
So playtime is 60 minutes. So
okay,
we can go ahead and dive in. Really, the only thing I know about this game is that it's more of a family game.
Nice.
And I mean, you know, you look at the artwork and it seems very bright, warm colors. It seems more friendly to new board gamers. So I'm curious. My guess is it's probably, once we're done playing it, it's probably going to be one of those games where I might think it could be more of an entry level board game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and
let's jump
open
right
her
in.
up.
Easy does it.
The suspense is killing me. There you go.
Ooh.
Well, and instead of a board, I guess it's a...
Look at this.
It's a play mat. I'm digging this a whole bunch.
Oh, it's long. Wow.
It's very long. It's about as...
long and
It's a little... It's longer than the Wonderland's War board, but definitely not as wide.
Definitely. Oh, definitely.
And not an overwhelming amount of game components, so it's honestly just makes me
I get the red dragon.
So happy. Let's probably forgo with these large 8-ish sort of cards.
We're not going to use them?
No, because there's quite a lot of text on these as well as the dragon cards. They might explain kind of what that card does anyway. So let's just unpack everything and then we can get into actually describing what we see. I think I'm going to go with the gold dragon. It's pretty cool looking.
Gold dragon's cool.
Very cool. Okay. Well, let's take a dive in and see what we're dealing with here. Okay, now the first thing that I'm seeing that seems very important are these white-backed large cards.
Mm-hmm.
There are 6 of them. Each one has a different symbol which correlate to all of these little tokens.
Uh-huh.
These little chips that we have that have the same ones. So I'm not sure if they're supposed to be all like spread out.
Here's my prediction. So on the map, we have little buildings that are the perfect size.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm guessing that like there's kind of like a randomized place and you set up the shops around the map.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to go there, you have to kind of walk your dragon around town in order to buy things at that shop or whatever. That's my prediction because the size of the card is the same as the size of each building.
Well, and before I even saw those buildings, it seemed like they would be out as like almost like a market.
Yeah.
So we have the large white backed and then we have the large kind of like a
tan
back.
Khaki back.
And they're kind of the same size. They look the same. They just have text on them and different abilities. So I'm wondering if we're supposed to fill all of these buildings up, but we have the starters, like we have the base, which we've already got laid out on the table.
And Do you think white is the starters?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what makes them so special, if not for them always being, unless they're like
Yeah, I don't know.
unless each player gets one, and then these go out into the market.
Okay, but this smith has to be over here because that looks like a blacksmith shop. I mean,
But there are blacksmith cards, the tan backed ones.
Mm.
So yeah, I'm not sure if we are each supposed to get a starter, or if they go amongst the town along with the others.
Yeah.
So I suppose we can go back to those in just a moment. Then we have the small white backed cards with different dragons.
Uh-huh.
Now they have the same symbol.
Yeah, there's one dragon for each.
But it has the top right of both the large white backed and the dragon white backed cards each have a trumpet with a flag hanging from it.
Uh-huh, yes.
So yeah, I'm not sure if you like, it almost seems to me like you would pick.
Well, in addition, so there's that dragon, but then here there's also a number of dragons with
like a reddish backed
with the
card.
red back
with the same symbol though. So it's just like how the white backed large cards are the same as the tan backed. Except different. It kind of seems the same way. You have the white backed and you only have a few, and then you have a full deck of all these other dragons.
Yeah. Maybe you're right that the white is like starting, and maybe the shops can get upgraded. So maybe it starts as a Critical Role's bakery, but then it can get upgraded to the Drake of Cakes, and it has to match the symbol in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but that's a possibility.
Yeah, it is definitely an option.
So maybe we kind of go through this deck,
but if you look at if you look at the large white backed cards versus the tan, they have 3 symbols at the bottom. And the symbols, the furthest left one is the trumpet, which matches maybe with the dragon.
Yeah.
But then in the middle, you have the diamond, and there's a diamond card deck. And then on the far right, you have a swirl, and there's the swirl deck.
What are these hearts? Is there a health mechanic in this? It doesn't seem like the type of game where you'd have to be keeping track of health. So you think it's like victory points or whatever?
It might be.
Essentially victory points?
The victory point tracker has hearts on it.
Yeah, every so often the stones are shaped like hearts. So yeah, maybe hearts are victory points.
I'm not sure what the difference is between the purple stars and the golden stars, but the cards look the same. They modify. Maybe one deck's just better than the other. And then we have these coins. I don't know what the coins do. I haven't really seen anything with coins.
So these this like spiral dragon tail shaped deck, it almost seems like these are things you keep secret, and then they give you bonus points at the end based on accomplishments.
Okay. Yeah, quest cards.
Looks like. Yeah, like a quest card.
Yeah, these spiral cards definitely share a lot of interesting information.
Yeah.
I mean, this one heart for each starter shop with matching dragon icon. So I mean, it tells us right there. There are starter shops.
And
then there's cards that say having different dragon types in different shops. Yeah, I'm wondering if we just fill in all the shops.
Let's see it. Sure. Why not? Do the shops that we fill in get a dragon, or do we have to place a dragon?
I don't know.
I think they have the trumpet, and I think they're the different color because they're out at the beginning. They're supposed to be kept separate because these are like starting cards.
So do you think that they start in each business.
So the starter dragon goes on the starter location
Right.
with the matching symbol. I mean, that'd be my guess, but
Mm-hmm.
that's just a guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think we start with any of these cards like in our hand? I know there's various mechanics to draw those cards, but do you think we start with any?
I'm almost wondering too if like cards are supposed to be laid out here in the middle to be taken.
That's a good thought.
Yeah, I figured with how big this deck is that shops would have to come and go. I don't know how we would collect one.
Yeah. Well, maybe we don't start with the town full if new shops are coming.
Yeah.
Maybe we just start with the starter shops. What is it? What is a diamond? What is that symbol?
I don't know. It's different than the bread.
Because it shows up on all the basic shops.
Yeah.
But it's not this symbol.
Like, is it just these coins?
I don't know.
I don't know why I wouldn't have the corresponding symbol, but I don't see anywhere else that that's indicated. Okay, what I'm thinking is the purple cards are the ones that are
Laid out there
in the middle, because the purple deck is surrounded with the heart tracker, and they're the only cards that look like they have a price. You pay the thing in the middle, and you gain the rewards at the bottom.
Okay.
Because I don't see any other cards that would indicate a
What's
price.
laying out?
So we're thinking we go around the market, we visit different shops, we go there to get goods. We want goods to buy the purple cards for their rewards.
Uh-huh.
It seems like we get a swirly card whenever we go. We place a card in a swirly spot, but I don't know how we get the dragon cards. I'm not sure about that.
Well, some rewards will let you draw one.
That's true.
And I think some other cards let you draw, like this guy, draw one dragon card.
Yeah. Yep.
So
okay.
I think
that answers that.
I think there's mechanics in the game that let you draw them. This card ability says gain double the rewards from an empty slot here, or gain double all dragon goods here. That makes me think that you do cover up those slots, like you were saying.
Unless what its meaning is a reward is on the right and it's in color, and a good is in the middle and it's gray.
How would that look in a turn? So you have to give the gray to get the colored thing?
No,
Is that what you're saying?
I'm not thinking that, because then that would defeat the purpose of these cards that you buy.
Or you get one or the other, not both.
Right.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Because then that card would say gain 2 times, so double the rewards for one empty slot. Or gain 2 times of goods. All 3 slots of those goods. So you could choose in this slot, you can either get 6 hearts, or you can get 2 plants, 2 meat, and 2 of a wild. 1 slot double of reward, or all 3 dragon goods. Well, in this card right here, it says you gain a heart for each starter shop. So I'm assuming the trumpet cards, the whiteback / whiteback cards. So you get a heart for each starter shop that doesn't have a matching starter dragon. So it sounds like dragons are moving around, like even the starter dragons are moving, and they're going to new spots.
Maybe we don't start with all the extra shops on the table. And maybe there isn't a way to remove shops. Like once all the shop spots are full,
game's over.
Well, maybe not game's over, but then those are the shops that you have to play with. So each time you play the game, it's a little bit different because you could get a different draw of shops. But there's no like swapping out shops throughout the game, you know.
I also just don't understand the rewards that you get on each specific dragon card. Unless if you choose to use a dragon ability, it's discarded. Because I saw references to cards being burned. Like this one right here says, swap with a dragon in town and burn it.
That's a thought.
So maybe you go to a shop, you play dragons in there, you get its reward, and then if you want the rewards of any of your dragons placed, then you can get them, but you have to discard them.
Well, maybe a dragon, like you play a dragon there and it covers up a slot. If somebody else comes and they want to, they don't want to use that, what's available to them, they can burn. There's the burn symbol again. They can burn this dragon card, gain 3 different goods, and then discard it. And now that spot's open again.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they can, burn dragons to do whatever that dragon ability is, and then it opens it up for the next person.
Mm-hmm. So do we want to say, with that, though, being how we're going to play, should it just be 1 move per turn? You go to a shop, you place 1 card, and that's your turn?
Maybe, except then how would you ever fill up?
Because if you're going to place multiple dragons, that also means you can burn multiple dragons. Honestly, this is probably the first time where I feel like we don't seem to have any unanswered questions. Whether or not we're playing right is
right
to be determined, but it seems like we've at least found something to do with every component.
Right. Well, can you travel anywhere on your turn? Like, could I cross the entire town, or can you only travel to a shop that's like up to 2 spaces away? So, like, if I wanted to go there and I'm here, I have to actually walk the town.
Right.
Do we want to say that?
Sure. 2 spaces sounds good.
2 spaces. Okay.
Yeah.
So would a turn look like you move to a shop, you place a dragon, gain the resources, then you can buy 1 thing and then your turn's over?
Right, if you can afford it, yeah.
If you can afford it.
I would say, I mean, they might be separate moves, but I'm fine with, it being included in your turn.
Do we start off with any of these? I feel like we'd have to.
We'd have to.
Should we say like 2 each, 3 each? What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, like you said before, it's not easy to get dragons. So the problem with starting with 2 is unless you can buy a card in the middle quickly, then you're going to be kind of out of luck.
Yeah.
For a while.
So what'd you say? 3 dragons then?
Thinking like 5.
5.
Okay, I suppose I will go to Draco Bell. And let's see. I will place Mr. Dandelion onto the anvil.
Why would you pick that one when you could get anvil and meat?
Well, do you think you get both?
I don't know.
I was wondering if it might just be like you can just pick any of the 3. But it could be both. Could be. It could go either way.
I mean, maybe it's both, like you get the reward for being the first one to that shop.
Right. It could be. Sure. That sounds good.
Okay. Take both. Take both.
Mm-hmm.
Just do it. Okay, well, I like the sound of Smith Mart, so I'm going to go to the Smith Mart, and I'm going to play Earl here, grab an anvil and a potion.
Okay. And then do we want to flip a new location?
Sure.
So now you can go here if you like.
I feel like I'm going to run out of cards real fast.
That's what I was saying.
If I'm using 2 a turn. Okay. I'm just going to come show up at
Tip the Scales.
And I'm going to play another dragon card. I think I'm going to come here next door. And I'm going to Brighton. And I get to pick
Bright Gem.
3 resources. So I'm going to go with 2 breads and an anvil. And then I'm going to spend 3 anvil, 2 bread for a delicious displacer beef, which gives me 4 victory points and a dragon card. New shop?
Funky Brewsters.
Let's go to the Funky Brewsters. Take a dragon here to hand. Replace with a park dragon. There's so many things we're missing. There are so many things we're missing. A park dragon and burn the new one.
I'm gonna grab a leaf and 2 potions and a diamond. And then I'm going to go here and I'm going to swap Earl for Moonbeam. I'm going to burn Moonbeam. I'm going to gain 3 different goods. So I'll get a diamond and some anvils. And then I'm going to buy 2 cards.
I'm confused again. Place a dragon ignoring icons. Gain the rewards. Ignoring icons. So, like, is that the rewards we get, or do we have to put a dragon on?
Here's what I have to
type?
say. We've been very smoothly, I might say, playing our version of this game.
Very smoothly.
No, but like really though.
Yeah.
It's kind of impressive because we've got to be playing it totally wrong, and yet what we're doing is actually working.
In a sense, it is, yeah.
So, I think, we've done 4 rounds or 5 rounds.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it might be a good enough time to call it and dive into the book.
Let's do it.
All right. I'll start reading if you wouldn't mind kind of
Yep.
resetting.
Yep.
Okay, so for the setup, you will place the 6 starter shops face up on any 6 shop spaces in town.
Check.
Place each starter artisan dragon, so just the white-backed dragons, face up on the shop with the matching icon in the top left, so that the dragon covers the first slot.
Check.
Bingo, nailed it.
I think these are the park dragons.
Yep, so what you're going to do is once you're done shuffling, you're going to reveal the top 5 cards and place them face up in the park.
I knew the park had something to do with that.
Now, with the enchantments, choose either the purple or gold enchantment deck.
Easy!
Reveal the top 5 cards and place them in a face-up row next to the deck. Booyah.
We got some things right.
We got lots of things so far.
This is
all I have to say.
This board and stuff is pretty intuitive.
Those people that are saying that this podcast is ridiculous, well, we're getting somewhere.
Yeah, we are.
We're starting.
I mean, it's still ridiculous. They're not wrong. But look at us now.
Look at us now. Episode 11. Deal each player a hand of 3 artisan dragons. Deal each player 2 fancy dragons. Each player chooses 1 fancy dragon to keep. See, I almost said that. Because that's what you always do whenever there's like a quest card, is you take 2 and you only keep 1. If you choose to gather from the shop you visit, follow these steps in order. Gain goods, coins, and dragons from the shop, and from each artisan dragon and enchantment there. You may place 1 artisan dragon from your hand into a dragon slot with the matching icon, then gain the reward on that slot. You may use the fire ability of any 1 artisan dragon at the shop. You may use the shop's ability if it has one. Filling a shop. So at any point during your turn, you place an artisan dragon in the last empty slot at a shop. You must draw a new shop from the deck without looking at it and place it face down on any empty spot in town. At the end of your turn, you will reveal each new shop you drew to expand the town. If you decide to enchant the shop, choose an enchantment card from the face-up row that matches the shop's icon. Pay its good cost to tuck it behind the shop and gain the rewards on it. Optional, fire up all dragons. All right, everyone, we've read the rules, and you know what? I think we did pretty good for ourselves.
We did do pretty good. There were a couple things that I caught on to right at the end. So there was a shop ability that said ignore the requirements when placing a dragon, and that clued me in that when you're placing a dragon, it has to match the icon on the card.
Mm-hmm.
But that was like right at the end after but then I was like, oh, like that clued me in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so one thing that I found, at least in prior games that we've done, is when it was a more of a light game, it didn't typically have a lot of text.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the case for this. This was a light game, and we had a lot to go off of.
Well, I feel like it didn't give us a lot of text, but the pictures are very clear.
With the pictures
like
and the text.
mat has symbols that shows you where each deck of cards go, and the size of the cards matches the size of the buildings, and just different. There were a lot of clues, even though there wasn't a lot of text.
Yeah. But I mean, we got the setup done pretty well. You know, we had the diamond cards in the middle the way they were supposed to be, and we understood that you pay a cost for them. We just didn't understand the enchantment part and how you get, when you go to a shop, you get the goods from there that are indicated on the dragons in the top left of the shop, and kind of like you were saying, matching a dragon. So we didn't get those things, but we did kind of understand, okay, if you burn a dragon, you're going to get that dragon's ability. We kind of understood gaining like coins or the swirly cards. And so, I don't know, we got like half of it right, which is better than most other games.
Yeah.
So like after reading the rules, it doesn't feel like, oh my gosh, I just learned so many things and this is so much different. It seems kind of like the same of what we were doing, just not.
Yeah, tweaked a little bit.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm not confused at all.
Yeah.
I think it's really straightforward.
Yeah.
So I think we're ready to go. We're going to dive in. We're going to play the game. If you want to watch our awesome playthrough, feel free to subscribe to it on Spotify, or you can watch it over on Patreon, and we will come back and talk about it. All right, everyone, we are back. And it was a pretty quick game, refreshing compared to last week. Last week's gameplay was over an hour once it was edited, so I don't even know how long it was, the actual official gameplay. This one, by far, like half, if not more of a difference. So, refreshing for sure. Why don't we, of course, start with the final score? So the final score is I ended with 36 and Brian with 40. So
it's a close game.
I'm glad it got that close. No one wants to lose by a ton because you kind of feel like, you know, a loser. So it was close, but in the end, but yeah, what are your thoughts about the game overall?
I liked it. I really liked it. It's simple, straightforward. The artwork was beautiful. The names were fun. It was a quick game, but there was a lot of strategy involved. I don't have any complaints. It was pretty unique as far as like I haven't played many games that were like this as far as the mechanics go. It felt kind of competitive, but it was also, I don't know, pretty relaxing game.
It was.
I don't know.
It was.
I liked it. And it feels like it can be played with younger kids. And now that my kids, I mean, my oldest is 4, so we're still
early stages.
We're still a ways away from like teaching him some more in-depth board games. But this is one that I think I'd like to introduce.
Right now, your kids are in the Tiki Topple phase. Have you heard of Tiki Topple?
Well,
that's a really early on game.
Uh-huh.
So you're in that phase.
I'm in that phase. So I'm not,
but yes,
they're not ready for this. But of all the games that we've played, this is one that I'm like, oh, I definitely want to teach my kids this game. I think it'd be fun.
Yeah. I mean, I had mentioned earlier, I wondered if this would be an intro game to maybe some non-gamers. And I can easily say it is.
Yeah.
The vibe I get from this, as far as the level of strategy is concerned, it's in the same realm as many of the most popular games. So I'm thinking Azul, I'm thinking Splendor. One of my family's all-time favorites is Century Golem Edition. That is not similar as far as the mechanics go, but in the way that I feel this game played and the level of strategy that was required, I get that sense. Cascadia, it's a strategy game, but it's not overly strategic. It's very simple. I really, really enjoyed how the turn order was simple. It's not hard to remember. You have your little player age to remind you.
Yeah.
But it's really straightforward. When you go to a new shop, you do these steps and you're done.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the level of strategy for how, I don't even know if I would necessarily call this game. Let me just say, for the weight of this game, I liked the strategy.
Yeah.
It wasn't too complicated. I'm very prone to analysis paralysis. In past episodes, I feel like I sit there for like a solid minute just thinking. In this one, that was greatly reduced. It really wasn't that hard for me just to look and say, I'm going to go for the Mirror of Truth for my enchantment, so I just need the potion and the anvil. So where do I need to go? So that's really straightforward. Okay, well, I'm going to go to Fragile Reptile because I need diamonds. It's that straightforward. And then the only thing after that is, okay, what dragon do I want to play? And where do I want to play it? Because what bonus do I need?
Mm-hmm.
So the strategy is not super complex. And I'm curious what the community has to say as far as the age goes. They
say 10 plus. I think you could probably get away with a little younger. I think for most games, whatever they recommend, you could like subtract 2 years and probably be fine.
Well, exactly. So the community, so the box says the game officially is 10 plus.
Yeah.
But the community, it was rated most at 8 plus.
Yeah.
And how great is that, right?
That's awesome.
Like we enjoyed it as grown men.
Uh-huh.
But the fact that the community is saying an 8-year-old can play this, that's great. Who doesn't want, when you have a young family, who doesn't want a game that you and the kids can play? So I think that's definitely a plus. But really, it's kind of funny. When we were going into Wonderland's War, I'm thinking about how Board Game Hot Takes just raves about the level of production and the art and all of that and how much they love it. But I love this way better.
Yeah.
It's just so fun. The colors are incredibly vibrant. The artwork is beautiful. Like it's really remarkable. And if I'm not mistaken, it seems like every location is different.
And every dragon is different.
Every dragon, even if it's a diamond dragon, each one is different. And I love how each one has a different name, and the name corresponds to the picture.
Yeah.
Like Cookie is literally cooking something. Skewert has a skewer in his hand.
Well, Cookie is cooking cookies.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like. I mean, eggs, flour, sugar.
Yeah, there you go.
Cookie is cooking cookies.
Jasmine is literally making tea, holding Jasmine in her hand. Like, it's just so fun and so beautiful. Yeah. The theme is so fun. And if you want to kind of read the story in the rule book, you can kind of get a sense for what's going on here. But we talked about this before. Artwork is not cheap. And this level of detail in each card, I mean, I can see the care that was given into this game. And I love the neoprene mat compared to
I
a
love the
board.
mat too, yeah.
It's really, really fun.
Yeah. And it's just so well done. Like the art on the mat, the play mat, the layout of the play mat, the way they made it look like a village, and just the way it has space for the cards and the shops. I just think it all came together so nicely. And I agree with you. The artwork, the fact that each card is unique with a unique name and everything. I think I really don't have any complaints about this game. I thought it was just a nice little game.
Yeah, for sure. It's interesting though to think, because the amount of dragons that is in the park is 5.
Yeah.
And the maximum amount of people that can play this game is 5. So at 5 players, I can imagine that there would be some frustration in both someone taking a dragon that you wanted as well as taking an enchantment.
Yeah.
So I think I think there could be a lot of intense competition, which I like as well. When I play Century Golem Edition, it's the same way in that I can see exactly what tokens you have, what goods you have, and you can see exactly what goods I have. It's not very hard to see who's going for what.
Yeah.
Same thing happens in Century, where I can see exactly what gems and how many gems someone has, and I know what golem they're going to buy, and I try to buy it first. And there have been a lot of times where I've bought a golem, and then my mom or somebody is like, they just get so like, no, that's the one I was going for. You know, it's just like, hey, you should have seen what I had, like bad luck. So same thing here. I think but it's not, it's a light level of competition, which I feel like I like how it's not overly done where people are going to get really upset. But I do like how you can get in people's way in a simple way. There were 2 times where I was going for a certain enchantment and you bought it first.
Oh, really?
And I just kind of shrugged it off.
I felt like we were never going for the same thing. I saw what you were going for and I was like, oh, he's probably going for this one, but it wasn't one I was going for. So I was like, whatever. So that surprises me that I took one that you were.
Yeah, at the very beginning, I was going for one that you bought kind of straight away, and I had 3 meat that was just sitting here for a long time. Because I couldn't do. There wasn't another enchantment that needed meat for like forever. So there is that. I think it would be. It seems to me like there are some games that they really break at the 5th player.
Yeah,
they say that they're 1 to 5 or 2 to 5. But really, the community's kind of like, it's the sweet spot's at 3 or the sweet spot's at 4. I think, though, it's like we said, this game is so. There's just something about it. I lost, and I really couldn't care less that I lost. Like, it was just casual.
Yeah.
It just felt simple.
Yeah.
And so, honestly, I had that same feeling with our own rules for the first time. Finally, at episode 11, it kind of feels like, okay, yeah, we weren't playing the game how it was supposed to be played. But the actual feeling I got while playing it, it seemed just as, I don't know, chill.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was clearly more fun. There was a lot more to it, and we didn't really have any major goals. Or we didn't understand how to get as many points as we did with the official rules.
Right.
But it is kind of surprising how we could have really played with our own rules, played the whole game until we ran out of one of the decks. And I think we kind of still would have ended with that same sort of feeling.
Yeah.
So that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
That we came up with at least something semi-decent. But yeah.
I thought it was a great game. I liked it a lot.
Would
recommend.
The rule book was probably the easiest rule book we've read thus far. Just because, I mean, yeah, this game isn't complicated. And the rule book, the way it's laid out, I had the fewest questions. Because it was very straightforward. They explained everything very well, but it didn't seem repetitive. Like Space Base seemed a little redundant. But this one, it took its time to make sure you understood without being redundant or, winded. But also not kind of sending you all around the place or leaving with a bunch of questions. So, as far as the production goes, I mean, 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
The artwork, the rule book, everything about it, I adore it.
Yeah.
As far as the gameplay, because of how simple it is, if I were to buy this game, I know it would get to the table a lot.
Yeah.
I know my family would enjoy it, which means I probably will pick this up eventually.
Yeah. I probably will too.
Yeah.
Probably when my kids are at an age when they can sit down and enjoy it.
But as far as what I'd actually rate it, I'm just not left with a deep sense of satisfaction, though. Like, I'm not ending this game with... Sometimes when we play a game together, when we do one of these episodes, when I'm finished, I have a big smile on my face because I just had fun.
Yeah.
And this one, it was kind of more laid back.
Yes. It's not one that I'd pull out if I had a group of friends who enjoyed board games.
Yes.
Like if I'm going to sit down and play a board game with guys who are into board games,
you're not going to play this.
I'm not going to play this one. This is one that's a very good family game, a casual Sunday afternoon with the kids, that's this type of game. So,
right. And some people might even say, well, it could be a palate cleanser. But I would say no, because there are better palate cleansers out there. There are two games I haven't played, but Scout and Skull are two games that I know play quickly. They're small. They're really easy to play. And they're loved by the community.
Yeah.
So I want to get that. I want to play those eventually, but I do know there are better games out there.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're not going to play a game like this with gamers.
With the guys. It's not. No. It's not a guys' night game.
No.
But I do really like it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think I would give it like a 6.9 or like a 7 right in there. What are you thinking?
Overall, I'd probably give it an 8.
An 8.
8.
Nice. The community says 7.5. So right in the middle between us.
Yeah.
So that just explains it. Yeah, there's going to be people out there that think it's more of an 8 or a little bit higher. There's going to be people that might think it's like a 7 or maybe a little bit lower. So, yeah, I think I'll eventually probably pick this up just because, unfortunately, I don't have a big board game group that can meet often. So, but I'm playing board games with my family every week.
Yeah.
So this is gonna, if I were to get it, it would get it to the table. So
awesome.
Well, great. It was a nice casual night. I had fun playing it. Everyone, thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any comments or you just want to give it a review, feel free to rate it or review it on whatever podcast platform you're currently watching this on. And if you want to participate more in the community, be more involved, support what it is that we're doing, by all means, subscribe on Spotify to our walkthroughs or to our playthroughs, or go on over to our Patreon where you can participate in the poll, get on our Discord, see behind the scenes stuff, all that good stuff. So, all right. Well, we will see you all next week.
We'll catch you later.